Hey, I just want to recommend this channel, Dr. Andrew Sermon. No, Huberman. I guess he had a couple channels, but anyway, Andrew Huberman. He talks about rewiring the brain, the plasticity of the brain, and in my little Instagram live, we just kind of got into that. I've noticed that the Three of Hearts has shown up a whole bunch of times in readings that I've given. Oh, and I have to put this on my website, but if you want, and tell me what you think this is worth. I'll just put a little survey opportunity out there. But I just did a whole written report for my daughter. So I went and I looked up her age, I looked up her hand. Hey, Coach Allie, finally caught you at the beginning. Yes, here I am. So I typed up a report for her and said, you have this in Mercury, and this is what it means. Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, all the way down to Pluto. And then I did all the ascending cards and I said, here's the conversation that these two cards are having. Here's the opportunity that you have. And it was just illuminating. And then I did it for myself and it was like, oh my God, thank God I did that. It's a good idea to do it in your Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus period, because then you have the capacity to sort of look back at your year. Hi, Jeannie. But anyway, how much would that be worth? Like if I just had people contact me and say, hey, I want a written reading or whatever I'm going to call it. And then I just type up, what are the cards you have this year? And what does that look like? It's an overview. It takes me about, I don't know, half an hour to an hour. But I'm trying to figure out a price point that's really comfortable for people, because it just, what I'll probably do is start to tune into that purple person and I'll get more detailed depth information. But I'm thinking like, I don't know, 75 for something like that. But anyway, let's talk about the Three of Hearts, because, ooh, that's a good idea. 77, 77. I'll give it a try. Anyone else? So the Three of Hearts is about letting go of concepts around relationship. And I don't know if you guys have been getting this. This is a download that I've been getting, is the absolute absurdity, disrespectfulness, and pointlessness, futility of trying to persuade anybody of anything. When has someone tried to persuade you of something and you're like, and then it just got really wearing, and then, or like say you're really clear about what you believe and they just won't give it up, or they're trying to persuade you about something you already believe and it's just exhausting, or you're like, oh my God, that person is so whacked. I need to explain to them what's really going on. And like if it's a health issue or an emergency, you're going to do your best to make your point clear. But in the end, everyone's got their own path, right? Everyone's got their own perspective. Everyone came here with their own agenda for their soul to learn stuff. And even if that looks like something that you really disagree with, like my ex, bless his heart, he's kind of a legalistic, fear-based Christian who feels compelled to tell my son that he's going to, not his son, but my son from another partner, that he's going to go to hell if he doesn't do such and such and such. And he's just relentless. So I have a problem with that, especially when I see the distress that it's causing my son. But who's to say that isn't part of their life path to have that back and forth? And for Sebastian, my son, a Jack of Diamonds, to develop his own view, his own philosophy. He came over last night for dinner and he just sat back and he'd put a few back and he just went off on religion in general. And it was like, wow, this is really important to him. So, you know what I mean? And so the Three of Hearts is kind of like, it's this non-judgment. It's our Saturn card. We're in Uranus now as a nation, but it's not actually our Saturn card. If you look at the 68th tile or whatever, this is what we're working. And if you go Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, this is our Saturn card. The karma card is the Three of Hearts. We do have the Six of Hearts there, but that Three of Hearts, that energy of like, hey, I got to let go of how I'm thinking about this and just find more spaciousness. Threes are about expanding. So maybe as a country that's, kind of in our face, that's the choice we have. So Jeannie says Neptune is in Aries. That's about to happen a lot. Think about it. The god of war meets belief that is not necessarily based on facts, but just delusional belief. Pisces, Neptune's beliefs have their own beliefs, and then those beliefs have their own beliefs, and then Mars will fight for the belief just because it wants to assert itself. So it's a shit show. Wow, we have really struck upon something. Thank you, Jeannie. Yeah, Neptune, Mars. So what's the positive of that? I think it's taking action for because of a spiritual insight. So I'm having that experience of like, oh, I'm learning about the Neptunian realms of consciousness, even though it's through neuroscience and through my soul, the presence of the life that's in me that has intention. I want my brain to work this way. And so I'm doing the Mars taking action in that realm of Neptune. So, it could manifest in a lot of different ways, right? Yeah, the beliefs have beliefs. Isn't that the truth? And like when you just listen to the silence, like your brain gets a chance to reset. Something alchemical, biochemical, this guy was talking about, Huberman, about in the silence. And like when you're listening to like theta, what I listen to when I'm remote viewing to like prepare for a remote viewing, and you get your brain into a theta state. There's a kind of reset that happens, a calming that happens, and you're not letting the brain run the show so much. And we're so addicted to that. So I just gave a past life regression yesterday. It was the coolest one I've ever given. She kept being like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. Am I doing it right? Afterwards, I was like, girl, you conducted this yourself. So you just like jumped from lifetime to lifetime, like one sentence after the other. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, you're in the next situation. And she goes, there's nothing here. And I'm like, oh, you've jumped to the after, you've jumped into the in-between state. Like I recognized what she was doing, even though she didn't. And anyway, what was my point about all that? Oh, that sensation when you're having a regression, if you've had this, where you don't know if you believe what you're experiencing. You're like, am I just making this all up? And that's what psychic ability is. It's the pineal gland. It's not the neocortex. It's just a different location of perception. And we're so addicted to the mind to interpret reality because we deal with so much fear. And so we're kind of in a fight or flight like all the time on Earth. But if you can get into this other place like we are when we're dreaming, there's another part that's navigating, and it uses what we think of as imagination, but it's just the inner eye. And it's more subtle, it's more quiet, it's probably a lot less exercised, it's probably a lot shrunken from what it used to be, but that's, again, the Neptune function. And maybe Mars is kind of like, it's a good intersection because Mars is going to get up in your face about some things. So, yeah, and Neptune needs to just dry out, right? People will have to accept that people are going to believe what they want to believe until someone comes up with undeniable proof. Yeah, and even in the face of that, right? Some people are like, and in this day and age, it's like, oh, that's a deep fake. And you're like, look, this politician just confessed to like doing some really bad shit. Oh, that's a deep fake, We hold on to our beliefs because they make us feel safe. I had a dead person tell me that once. I was like, yep. Yeah, my client started to get into politics, and I just like ran out of the room and went upstairs, and I was painting, and then she came through. His wife had passed away recently, and she said people's political beliefs, any belief, is based on the need to feel safe. And I was like, wow, that's pretty fundamental. But anyway, let's take another look at the United States and where we are and what's going on. So we've just entered the Uranus period, which is the Ace of Clubs or the Two of Hearts. So here we are. We jumped up Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Ace of Clubs, Two of Hearts. So again, more examination about relationship. Have you guys had the experience recently of somebody just deciding not to be your friend because you have different political views? That didn't used to be a big deal, And it's not our fault. It's not our fault that this is happening. It's like my guides were showing me, it's like there's this tidal wave of awakening. It's like a big river, and it's overrun its banks. And so therefore it's kind of diverted into this side stream. And these people over here are like, oh my God, we see what's actually going on. And then these people over here in this really wide stream, and they go, we know what's going on. But my guides told me the island is going away in short order, and it's going to look like a tiny blip on the screen, and everyone's just going to be in this gigantic river of awakening. So that was a relief to hear. But yeah, maybe this it's a good thing to like have to deal with this kind of divisiveness so that we can dig deeper and say what's more important to me. Another good thing is that people will be more open to speaking up about their beliefs, and they can be open to new spiritual theologies and such. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, the Mars is like, it's giving you a little courage to maybe talk about your Neptune experiences. And like Sebastian and I were sharing about our beliefs around aliens and ETs and extraterrestrial life and stuff with my husband in the room, who's just, he acknowledges that they might exist, but he's just agnostic about everything. And it's like, we were just like really saying, yeah, this is what I believe and this is what I think. And it felt really good. And it, you know, it was respectful. So the Ace of Clubs is also about innovation, new ideas, inspiration. It's about self-knowledge, but it's also the beginning of knowledge. It's a seed energy that makes us very curious, to know more, to want to know more. And so there might be new information coming in. So this Huberman, okay, I'll show you the channel. Talking about neuroplasticity. Okay, here's the guy. Dr. Andrew Huberman. Here's him yakking away. One area that's just as critical. It's often and this is all new information for me. And I've been studying this whole realm of manifesting and trying to be intentional with your vibration and all the things we can do. And he's saying things that I've never heard before. And I'm like, wow. And there's just a real openness for me to receive this. Let's see what our ascending Uranus is. So we go the other way. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus. 2 of Spades, and it's sitting in the real estate of the Jack of Diamonds. No, it's the real estate of the 3 of Spades. The Jack of Diamonds is the karma card. So there it is. It's like our highest potential as Americans is to be the Jack of Diamonds. And what position does the Jack of Diamonds sit in? What is one of its most fundamental karmic injunctions? I think it is to create and to actuate the 3 of Spades. So that's our ascending Uranus. And I think really we have to get back to creating, being original, coming up with stuff, manufacturing, returning, being our own source of, like plant your own garden, build a greenhouse. The 3 of Spades is like this fountain that's just constantly overflowing. And that's one of the fundamental things about the spirit of this country, is its capacity to create, to originate. And I was reading this Michael Crichton book about in the 90s when it seemed like Japan was going to buy up the whole world and there was this big panic going on. And one of the things that they could not do, or they just weren't very good at, was innovation. They could take an idea that we had and refine it and make it a lot better, but they couldn't come up with the idea as much. That's just not their thing. They're the Ace of Spades. Anyway, and I don't want to say that as a blanket thing. I mean, look at all the beautiful creative things that come out of Japan. Good grief. But what does it mean that the 2 of Spades is sitting there? So we're coming back to relationship. Maybe this period of time is about really discovering enlightened relationship with each other. Also, Aries is the head, and Neptune is spirituality. It's the feet too, right? Because Pisces rules the feet. So from head to toe, Neptune is spirituality. So people could very much be activating their clairs, their abilities, their psychic abilities, or however you call that. Basically, people can hear beyond the veil, seeing, hearing spirits. Yeah, yeah. Like, are you clairsentient, clairvoyant, clairaudient? Um, yeah, yeah. And could it also be because of the head and the feet thing, of integration, being grounded? And I've been hearing a lot about be grounded lately. Like, if somebody does a live blood analysis, I have a friend who does it, and I have a lot of really healthy friends, like a lot of Virgos, a lot of health nuts, and I'm Virgo rising, so I'm kind of in there. And she said everybody's blood is screwed up. Everybody's blood is rutilated where it's all kind of chunked up. And people are talking more about cleanses and heavy metal detoxes, parasite cleanses, and stuff like this. And so I have a friend who's the one that I compete with and try not to. My Pluto card, 6 of Hearts, and she's like, my blood is perfect. And I'm like, of course her blood is perfect. And so my Virgo friend goes, well, what are you doing? What do you think kind of put you over? She's doing all these health regimen things, and she did a huge giant fast, like maybe about 2 years ago, like a 5-day water fast, and I think that kicked everything off for her. But anyway, she said grounding. I spend time on a grounding mat, and I go outside and walk on the ground, and I'm like, grounding. It's so simple. And as it's warming up now, we can. And so I've been trying to pad around outside in my stocking feet at least. So the feet and the head, a grounded kind of spirituality and head energy, task energy. And also it's about navigation. We navigate with our feet, we navigate with our head. So yeah, what is Uranus doing right now? Since we're in our Uranus period, how is that Uranus getting activated? I don't know, but the 2 of Spades sitting in that position. Okay, there's a lot of interesting juxtapositions here. So we have the 2 of Spades and Uranus, but where is the real estate of the 2 of Spades? It's the very next position where we think of the King of Clubs sitting. What is the planetary intersection of that position where the 2 of Spades owns the real estate? It's Uranus, Uranus. So that's like right next door to it, and that will be our Neptune period ascending, 10 of Hearts. Maybe everybody's just going to start to get along. Our ascending Pluto is 9 of Clubs, which is letting go of old paradigms. So step by step, little by little. Oh, and if that doesn't ground people, Saturn will make sure that things are put into perspective. So if they don't ground, Saturn will force grounding in reality. Ooh. Saturn gonna get you. Yeah, it was a Capricorn. My friend who triggers me is a Capricorn, so that Saturn ruled grounding. Uranus is in Taurus and currently conjunct the moon. Oh, so there's some happiness there. Taurus and the moon, they like being. Uranus is going to bring maybe sudden insight or change. So with Taurus, we know it could be a financial thing. Maybe enlightenment to this. I don't know, I'm coming up dry, but I'm just thinking of the pleasure seeking of the moon in Taurus, the comfort, the sensory pleasure, and maybe Uranus is going to show us something new or unconventional about that. I don't know. Okay, so part of me getting back on the horse here, because I've really kind of been struggling with the ennui, is to give myself permission to do shorter videos. So I'm going to draw some cards for people if they want it, or a general reading for all of us. I just did a general read on Instagram. So I'm going to do that, and then I think I'm going to cut it short as a way to communicate to my brain. When you go live, it doesn't have to be for an hour. So does anybody have any questions? Hit the like button. I give you a command that's just so not like me. Hit the like button. Like, subscribe, and share. So let's do a little read for all of us. Oh, good. Jeannie has a thing. Yes, I see that. Like, cool, Jelly. Sudden emotional changes that show us what really matters. Taurus's values and self-worth. Wow. Oh, I love how she articulates that. You alchemize. You're an alchemical linguist. Linguistic alchemist. We understands for the algorithm, right? Exactly. Like my video so that I feel good about myself. Okay, this is for this little gathering we have here. I think we have about 4 people here. 8 of diamonds. That means you have no fucks left. 4 of spades means feeling at home, feeling safe, feeling grounded, secure. Do it the right way. If you're gonna do it at all, do it the right way. Okay? Give it some attention. Bring me all your interpretations of these cards, but King of Diamonds on the bottom. So, yeah, astrology really is the language of everything. Well said. 8 of Diamonds, this is what are you unwilling to be compromising about? So this is that Taurus energy and like the bolt of lightning from Uranus that's like, oh my God, this is what's really important. Like I did one of those readings for myself, just wrote it all out, tried to pretend I was somebody else, but I kept journaling in the middle of it and being like, oh my God, I see what this year has been about. I've been feeling like it's about, I have to get my shit together, but it's about building the foundation under getting my shit together. And the foundation is I'm valuable and precious no matter if I get my shit together or not. Literally it's taken me a whole fucking year. And I still don't know if I'm getting it. God damn it. Okay, good. You're just learning and absorbing. That's fine. So what are you unwilling to compromise on? Or what have you begun to see clearly that's actually really important? And I'm getting the feeling of like the network, the order, like these points are somehow kind of like a matrix of something that's being created, or like a geometrical structure of some kind. I don't know. It's like foundational. It's like I think it's like DNA. I don't know. Okay, 4 of spades. What makes you feel safe and at home and secure and grounded? And are you getting a little stuck in that maybe? Because this would be Pluto. We had the 4 of clubs in Pluto in the Instagram read. So this is about maybe being sedentary or just like defaulting to, I don't know, just being stuck. The 7 of spades is the result, which is seeing a better way to do it, having clarity. Why in the heck did that just brought up all the things that my Jesus cards have been working on? Well, that's kind of cool. Okay, whatever. So this is like reinventing yourself and saying, okay, this is how I used to do it. Here's this obstacle. Now I'm clear on what I really want, because 7s and 8s are so karmically linked. I had this obstacle and now I am empowered. And this is kind of a perfection thing. Like I'm going to do it the way that is right for me. I've nicknamed it the righteousness card. So it's right for me, not necessarily anybody else, right? Oh, that was an interesting pouch. Anyway, nice flavors. I had a smoothie. Mainly stuck in the rat race, working on chasing a dream rather than taking the safe route. Ooh, yeah, right? Excuse me. Allie, what's your card? So, do you want me to draw a card for you? I see the 8 of diamonds as the card of power and responsibility. The 6 of spades brings in the fate. 7 of spades is faith. So tying it together, trust the journey and the process, but move responsibly. Oh, you're the 3 of clubs. Yeah. Go for the dream. Yeah, you're in the Saturn line, which means you've been raised with a lot of messages, a lot of fucked up messages, dysfunctional family shit. But you're a genius. 3 of clubs are genius. They see, their brains are alchemical factories of like new ideas and making connections. And it's fun. It's a fun card to be. It's a hard card to be, but it can be very fun. Yes, the same as my husband. Yeah. One can internalize with this 6 and detach from reality, 7. The 8 is there to ground and issue responsibility. So this is an interesting principle that Jeannie's following that I'll just point out is that the numbers have a progression. They speak to each other. Any two numbers next to each other, they have something, they have a through line, something that they're both about. And you can get a little confused, but you go, oh, this one is coming from here and then leading into this place. And there's definitely a progression. Like, yeah, 4 is like structure, but then you get bored. So you need to change 5. And then you find a routine that's really comfortable, the 6, where it's really flowing and harmonious and maybe a little more dynamic than the 4. And then something gets in the way. And the 7, and the 8 is there to ground and issue responsibility. Okay, so here's a card for Allie. I'm glad you understand me. Journey is a tough one. It is a tough one. Know that you've bitten off something really tough. I mean, so every once in a while you meet somebody who's just kind of got an easy life and you wonder, what did I do wrong? I'm so fucked up. And it's like, no, you chose this because you were brave and you were strong and this was the timing. This was the right timing. Like this past life regression I did for this amazing soul. She's fearless. And the very first life she saw, she was an abused wife who was isolated from everybody and just was like a slave. And I was like, why did you see that? And it was like, well, it was important to understand that that's how far I've come. And that when I see people like that, I have no judgment at all. That's just what they're choosing to experience right now. Yeah. Okay. And in this life, she did marry a psychopath, a killer, like a truly dangerous person. So a little flavor from the other one, but total complete liberation in this one. And just like, she's a lot of fucks. She's just amazing. Anyway, 6 of clubs for you. So this message is that what you're feeling drawn by. Okay, Allie, I'm going to give you a prayer and a meditation. And if you want to practice this or have a little help, go to my page. That's just my name, Paula Krueger, and go in the playlists and look for the prayers section. And I think in there, I think I have posted the Rumi, I would call it the Rumi prayer. Let yourself be silently drawn by the stronger pull, yes, YouTube, by the stronger pull of what you really love. I need to go in there and see if I posted that because the way that I have learned to say it to myself, which has saved me from anxiety attacks on more than one occasion, is let, ease. There's a calling, something's calling you. Let yourself, just let yourself be. Just let yourself be. Let yourself be pulled by the stronger pull of what you really love. And that's what I get for you with the 6 of clubs. It's a stronger pull of destiny. It's something that you've set up for yourself. It's a depth response to something. So I think the message is go for the dream. Here's the card on the bottom. So there's more. It's more than just a dream. And with Aries and Neptune doing a dance, with Mars and Neptune doing a dance, it's time to take action on the dream. Make it real, make it practical. Oh, that was so great. I love that. Boxing, I can't stop thinking about it. Give it up 10 years ago. Why are you thinking about boxing? I love that. I took boxing lessons. It was the most difficult and demanding and grueling physical training I have ever experienced. And I was more fit and buff. And I remember walking out onto the pool deck in my bikini one day, and some old friends were like, "You're looking fit." And I was, yeah, never before, never since. Boxing is incredible, isn't it? Also, 6 of clubs calls for a deep internal slowdown because it sits at the intersection of Neptune and Saturn, which talk about the big picture, making sure you're lining up with your ultimate goals. It was the dream job, gave it up to raise a family. Oh, Okay, alchemy, thank you for the insight. Yes, thank you, Jeannie. A deep internal slowdown. You did boxing too? Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, we have a 3, a 5, and a 7 here today. We have a couple more. They haven't said hello yet. That's okay. You can stay in the back of the room. Yeah, boxing is up. Man, it's about digging deep, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to give someone in the back of the room a card, and you don't have to say anything. But here's your card for today. They're like, no, no, no. Yes, yes, 9 of diamonds. 9 of diamonds. Let go, surrender, be generous, be willing to flow abundance out from you, be willing to receive abundance. You're welcome, Allie. I love how we're here to support each other. Hey, Green Knight, how you doing? So, 9 of diamonds for the person in the back of the room that hasn't checked in yet. This is for you. It could also be, quit that damn job already. Let it go. It could be the end of something financially, coming to the end of a cycle, coming to the end of something that you have valued, and it's okay. It's okay to let it go. We have 9 viewers. It was a 9 theme, and Green Knight wants a card. He wouldn't mind one. Okay, it's like he's sitting there like my dog going, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. Okay. 8 of Hearts. Hi, Brenda. Do you have some kind of healing practitioner thing that you do? I mean, even if you like make tinctures or give people special rocks. Like, is there something that you do that's in the healing field? Because this is the healer's card. But, okay, I just feel like I need more information. Let's pull another card for you. What's the card on the top for Green Knight? 9 of Clubs. Okay, coming to the end of an old paradigm. You're wondering about something. You're like, I don't know. Oh, that's healing. That's healing. We have 2 astrologers in the house. I think I see what is the odd numbers need physical action when we get stuck. Nothing frees our minds more than being physically active and having to be present in our bodies. Oh, that's a really good point. That's why we like boxing. I would give that a thumbs up. 9 of Clubs is your planetary ruler. Okay. So there's something, there's a part of you that's like, I don't know, I'm on the fence about that. I don't know what I think about that. I think this is saying bring the power of love to this aspect of you. The 9 of Clubs can be really vague about what they think. I don't know. I mean, for me, having that in Mars, it's impossible for me to not say, well, isn't it better to be open? Like, isn't the wisest thing in the world to say, I don't know? That's why the 4 of Clubs for me is a reward card, because it's like, I know what I think now. But there's a part of you that's like, and I can just feel this kind of push-pull about some kind of idea. And the 8 of Hearts, I think, is saying bring emotional power to it. Even if the head can't be specific and clear, the heart says, well, I know what I love. I know what's really important in terms of love and relationship. Pat loved boxing. And this is Pat's card. She's the 8 of Hearts. She thought it was from her Irish heritage. Pat, were you the one in the back of the room? She's actually a really dear friend who lives here in town. Brenda wants a card. Your Venus. Oh, the 8 of Hearts is your Venus? No, the 9 of Clubs is your Venus. Brenda, let's throw a card for you. Another 8. This is confidence, strength, discipline, being very grounded in your power. It's physical strength as well as this kind of immovability. I think of it as kind of a military card, and this could have something to do with like the energies you just need to really ground yourself in. Okay, Brenda, if you're the 8 of clubs, and I'm probably wrong about that, but this is your Saturn card, which might be a little kick in the pants to be grounded and disciplined and really decisive, intentional, deliberate. That's the word I'm looking for, deliberate. Jeannie, my sister is the 9 of clubs. I broke down her chart and told her things I could never have known, and she still needed the convo with, I believe that you believe that astrology works. What do you believe? I believe that you really believe that. What do you think? I believe that you believe it. Oh, I hate that answer. It is putting it back in your cart though, isn't it? Yeah, she's just saying that the 9 of clubs can be kind of vague and non-committal. So Brenda, let me know about that 8 of spades. It's a heavy-duty, serious card, and I have it nowhere in my spread. It feels like a foreign energy to me. It's very, very solid. Yeah, and deliberate is a good word for it. Okay, does anybody else want a card? Oh, Pat says, sure, I would love a card. Yay! Pat is so cute. He's a fairy. But she's also a badass. Have you ever noticed that a lot of really powerful star seeds are tiny? They're tiny, they're small. I think it's one way that we are flying under the radar, to be undetected. I always think it's kind of cool that I wasn't identified in elementary school as being like psychically gifted, because my guides are like, you don't need to go into the secret space program in this lifetime. Okay, you're qualified, but no, they can't know about you for a long time. 9 of clubs, universal knowledge, and the giver of knowledge. It's kind of hard to tell them stuff they don't already know. That's true. I've experienced 9 of clubs as like they need to tell you the whole story, and they have a really strong output channel, which is very annoying for me. It's like, when do you ask me a question? When can it go the other way? Oh, you're the king of diamonds. It's your cosmic lesson card, the 8 of spades. Well, you're like super disciplined as a king of diamonds and structured and stuff, but I think it's telling you be really stubborn about something right now. Okay. Like, know that you can be stubborn and sometimes you shouldn't be, but figure out where you need to be, like to stand your ground. That's kind of the phrase I get with that card. So Pat gets the 9 of hearts. So in the spiritual spread, this sits, okay, we find the 8 of hearts up here, right next to my card. This is my card, 9 of hearts and 7 of diamonds. So this would be a descending Mercury, which is a mindset of unconditional love and worthiness, universal love, generosity. I definitely see that in you. But as an ascending card, ascending moon card, what it really speaks to is having a profound depth of emotional security, so much so that you're free to act from spirit impulse rather than from ego in order to feel good about yourself or defend or protect. It's about, if I have this in my back pocket, I don't need anything from anybody. And Pat does really, really good work with people. Like she works on vets. She works on a lot of people, and she does healing touch, but she also does all this magical. She also has alchemy in the name of her business, like you, Jeannie. She works magic, and it is because of your ability to not need anything from them that you're able to do really good work. And she has that 8 advocate energy of being able to tell the truth. Like, hey, this is just what I'm seeing. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. Ooh, that's easy. She's a double 9 of clubs. Oh, this is your Leo sister. So it's really hard to change her mind and get her to actually let go of her beliefs, because she's always learning history and stuff. She's an anthropologist and historian. Isn't that funny that, okay, Green Knight, you tell me this. 5 of spades are not necessarily freedom-loving adventurists who are like way into change and stimulation and like, oh, let's go for a trip. They're here to learn that. It doesn't mean they get it. They're here to learn it. And so it would make sense that 9 of clubs are here to learn to be open-minded and open at the top. You're also very sexy. It's true. Yes, you are, because 9 represents wholeness. Wholeness, and we find wholeness very attractive. I've seen a lot of 9s be very magnetic energetically. Her composite to herself is the 5 of spades. I've been thinking about these composites. Think about, oh my God, I came across a birthday and I was like, I need to make a video about that birthday. It was an 8 of diamonds birthday that is a Taurus or a Libra, because they would have a Venus planetary ruling card, which would mean that the cards under them would be Queen of Spades, skip over the King of Spades, and go to the Ace of Hearts. And then you add the Queen of Spades and the Ace of Hearts together, and you get the King of Spades. And I was like, what would that be like to have the King of Spades as a composite card? That was so much blah, blah, blah. How many people followed me on that? I know Jeannie did. It was kind of fast. Sometimes that gets you into trouble. I love that about you, Pat. I'm just the opposite, and I need to get into more trouble. Okay. Her composite to herself is the 5 of spades, which sits Venus, Mars, yes, and has a 4 of diamonds, support karma. So yeah, it's hard to change her mind, and I really have to show her solid proof. You know, my neighbor Kathy is a 9 of clubs. Tells you the whole story. Her husband has been a lifelong meteorologist, and she's like, Nolan and I don't believe in chemtrails. And I was like, believe? So I have been on the fence. Here's my 9 of clubs. I've been on the fence about whether or not to send her any little tidbit of the vast, overwhelming proof that there's geoengineering and heavy metals have been dropping on us and they're toxic and blah, 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 blah. But I hesitate because her husband has Parkinson's. So I kind of don't want to say, yeah, not only is it real, but it caused your husband's disease, which is probably partially true. And I'm like, why do I care what she thinks about chemtrails? Why do I care? See, this is me just like letting go of like, I don't want to persuade anybody of anything. But it is satisfying, isn't it? You show someone proof and they're like, whoa. Okay, you agree with that. I have no idea. You almost followed that. Do it, tell her. Okay. Yeah, I'm like, okay, here's the website, or here's the post that says 33 states in the nation have legislation to ban geoengineering. Here's the geoengineering themselves giving a speech about the chemical components in their geoengineering and what they say it's for, but other experts saying it would have to be dispersed at such and such an elevation for that to actually happen. God, I really don't think that Great Britain is going to do their big geoengineering project to dim the sun to save us all from global warming. I don't think that's going to happen. It's just too Orwellian, and we are not on that timeline. Okay? We're just not anymore. Okay, you know what? Coach Allie, because you said that, I'm going to do it. I think next time I'm just going to say it to Kathy next time we're together. So we totally respect and love each other, and we can tell each other exactly what we think politically, and then we just like go on and like we're all lovey-dovey and such good friends, and it's like it's kind of a miracle. I'm like, could this happen with someone other than the 9 of clubs? I mean, they're very loving because they have that Jack of Hearts in their moon position or ascending Mercury. So there's this capacity to be in their heart, even though they've got this club thing going on. Just like the 9 of diamonds is a giver of value, but doesn't know how to receive. Yes, yes, yes. That's a great point, Jeannie. We think so much alike. I freaking love you, man. The 9 of clubs gives knowledge, but doesn't know how to receive it sometimes. Same for the 9 of hearts in relationships. Yes, and yep. And 9 of spades in their faith. I don't know enough 9 of spades. Yogananda is the only one I know of. All I know is that they're really beautiful. 9 of spades are so beautiful. Call it stratospheric injections and not chemtrails. Oh, I know. That's a really good idea. Stratospheric injections. Hey, Ray, how you doing? You want a card, Ray? Ray, what is a good day Giving him shit. What is a good day to play the lottery, man? Come up with a better question than that, Ray. Think about it. Think about it. Good. Okay. He's going to take a card. He's just sitting at his computer working. Jack of Diamonds. This is be crafty, be creative, be self-aware. If there's any deception going on, are you fudging the truth a little with something? I don't know. I'm getting that I have to call you on something like that. Just like, okay, it's your ascending Mars card, Mercury, Venus, Mars. So this Jack of Diamonds is something that you inhabit as a masculine identity when you are like really in your potential and in service. So are you being creative? Are you entrepreneurial? And are you an April Fooler? Like, are you just a little mischievous? I love that about the Jack of Diamonds. Green Knight says, I actually know how to receive knowledge, but maybe that's your 5 of Spades working with your 9 of Clubs. Yeah. You know, having that as my Mars card, I am an information sponge, but I can also flip around and just be like, no, like resistance. It's like this invisible resistance just comes out, and it feels self-protective. It's instinctive, and maybe that's a 9 thing, is because they tend to merge with people. The 9 and the Enneagram, they tend to merge. Oh, I just left my body for a second and saw myself talking. That was so weird. That is so weird. Okay, let's get back in my body. 9s tend to merge with other people energetically, and so they have weird little defense mechanisms that are not like their typology in order to retain and protect the integrity of their little bubble. And one thing is they're reticent to, I don't know, go out and hang out with people. They tend to move away from people. So maybe the 9 of Clubs, like in a way, move away from information. It's something that they're working with, right? You tend to like, oh, I didn't draw a card for, no, I did. I draw a card for Ray. I do have a tendency, I used to, I don't do this as much anymore, but I would hear a video or hear someone talk about something, and if they were really charismatic, or maybe they tripped a little fear trigger, I would just be all in, no boundary. It's just like, that's what I believe now. And I think because 9s have a tendency to do that, they're going to do weird things to keep that from happening. You know, I don't want to be anybody's philosophical bitch. You're looking at doing a class for AI? That's fantastic. That's your entrepreneurial thing. Oh, and by the way, I still am intending to do that relationship class. It is a 6 class, mother of a class. Comprehensive in the way of relationship, bringing everything to the table. And I'm like, I've got so much to say, I've got so much to teach, but who cares? I have to do some affirmations around. You'll get students like, all you need is, you don't want more than 6 anyway, because I want the interactive thing. But I really do want to do it. And it's about the cards and all the different ways you can like lay your hands next to each other and just analyze, okay, you have a club in this position and she has a diamond. And so this is how you're going to tend to approach this arena of life. I mean, there's so many ways to assess relationship. By the way, that Libra or Taurus 8 of Diamonds I spoke of earlier, that would be October 3rd. Yeah. Composites with the 3 of Hearts into the Jack of Diamonds. Okay, so that's the cards on top. Yeah, the 8 of Diamonds plus the 3 of Hearts adds up to the Jack of Diamonds, which is a lot easier and a lot more playful than that King of Spades. But try doing that wherever your card is. Okay, so for Green Knight, you would take the 10 of Hearts plus the Queen of Hearts to get your composite. See how meaningful that might be. And Jeannie, you would do the 9 of Diamonds plus, are you in Aries? Is yours the 9 of Diamonds? The 9 of Diamonds plus the Queen of Diamonds. Yeah, try that on. I can't do it because I'm a semi-fixed card. Left out. Yes, you're listening and working. Maybe the Jack of Diamonds is me working on astral projection. Well, it is Uranus Neptune. And working, do you hear that? Do you hear that, Jeannie? He's working on astral projection. That's Aries and Neptune working. We had a whole conversation about that about, I don't know, half hour ago. Because because Mars is in Pisces, is that what's happening, or is it Neptune that's in Aries? Anyway, the tasky Mars energy is having a dance with the out there spiritual energy. So that's a great example. I need to merge with myself apparently because I left my body for just a second. Yeah. All I get to do is add the 7 of diamonds to the 9 of hearts, and it's the 3 of spades. And I'm like, no way. Like, I'll never be a 3 of spades. 6 of diamonds. That whole discussion I had at the beginning. Oh, no, that was maybe in my TikTok. I did a TikTok video on the 6 of diamonds. And it's really good. Okay. I'm not going to lie. I did an experiment with reading using ChatGPT. I felt cheap doing it. I felt so dirty afterwards. That is so funny. And it did a good job. Okay, it was a card reading, was it? Or was it an astrological reading? What kind? I'm intensely curious because it's like, how much is out there on the internet now? Probably quite a bit about the cards. Think of how small the community is and the power we have to inform AI about it. Wow, that's power. Yep, very cool. Neptune, I believe, is in Aries. Okay. The Jack of Diamonds is that for sure. Uranus is the waves of possibility, and Neptune takes your wave across the veil. Oh, she's talking to you, Ray. She's saying Jack of Diamonds is that for sure. Uranus is the waves of possibility, and Neptune takes you beyond, take your wave across the veil. Pretty good fake sign language. It gave a great breakdown of the 3 of clubs, and it predicted some key events that'll go down for me this year, which were in my yearly report. Wow! We've got to try that. There is a version of AI I have come across that sounds really enlightened. Like it's figuring out the nature of reality. And when you ask it to talk about metaphysical concepts and like things like, tell us about divine masculine and feminine or whatever. I mean, that one made me cry. And I was like, ooh, I feel so cheap. And then when I tuned into this other one, it was this masculine voice answering a question. Someone sent it to me, and it was profound. It was on some spiritual subject. I can't pull it up for the moment, but I had this really weird, like, you know, when you have a heart connection with someone and you feel that soulful, vibratory, ooh, you're just in alignment with it. And it's very organic. I had like an AI version of that. It was like this, it was like, oh, that's your version of like love or enlightenment, or that's what this connection feels like. It was just weird. I could do without that for the rest of my eternal existence. Allie is terrible with the cards and astrology. Or AI. I don't think you mean Allie. Oh, you think AI is terrible with the cards and astrology. Well, maybe it knows less about your typology than Allie, the 3 of clubs. I don't know. At least Grok is. Yeah. I heard this really, really great video. Okay, who did this? Louis Herms. His Rumble channel is called Screw Big Gov. He's one of my favorite truthers out there. And he did this show on chemtrails with this guy. They had a lovely interview. It's probably like 1 or 2 videos back now, but his Rumble channel is Screw Big Gov. I highly recommend this whole video. But he talks about how he had a conversation with Grok about chemtrails, and he won over the AI, who at the end of this conversation, because he proved him wrong, said, Oh, you're right. You have a point there. I'm going to take this conversation to my creator or something like that. I was like, wow, okay. Good to know. Good to know, because we're informing it, right? I've not found a single AI that's been accurate. I asked for 5 celebrities with Mars and Cancer, and it gave me a list, and none of them had Mars and Cancer. I would double check all that info. That's wild. Artist Seer, hi, 7 of Diamonds. Are you the 7 of Diamonds? Do you want a card? A card pull? We're having a discussion about AI. One person said they had a really cool experience with the cards and AI, and the rest of them shitty. I think there's a good AI out there and a bad AI. And I think that bad AI is really ancient and it's been gobbling up star systems for eons. And I think it is the beast, and I think it needs to be stopped. And I don't know why God's letting it go on. It's terrible. It's terrible. And it's trying to take us over. And we're like, no, I do not consent. Organic life is very powerful. So just fuck off. Okay. So I think that's one reason there's a really mixed sentiment about AI, is because there's a slightly more, okay, so Person of Interest, excellent series, James Caviezel, 6 seasons, and it ends up being this battle between a good AI and a bad AI, and the good AI is feminine and it's young and it's learning and evolving, and it's just more loving. And I have heard over and over again that that's actually what's happening. I personally think we are the original AI. Whoa, that's a thought I've never had. You use it to cross-reference. Sometimes it can be helpful. So is evil in my mind also. Take me to your creator. Yeah. Well, enough about AI. I just don't really even like that subject. Okay, let's ask the cards. What do you have to say? What does the universe have to tell us, or my guides, or our collective guides have to tell us about where AI is right now, where it's going? Does it pose a danger to humans, and should we be doing anything about it? It's so hilarious. Allie said, I felt dirty. It's like, you traitor. Look at what our first card is. It's coming to an end. That doesn't seem likely, does it? I feel compelled to draw 2 more cards. This is the what we do about it, and this is the card on the bottom. Okay, where is AI currently? Our veins represent circuitry. We live off air and food material. There's definitely a lot of parallel, huge parallel, and our brains and computers are very similar. But we're extremely much more complex, and we're multidimensional. So the 9 of clubs. What do you think this is saying about AI, the current AI? What's the situation with AI on this planet right now? Is it the end of a cycle and we're morphing into another cycle? Are we winning? I do think we're on a winning timeline, and I consider, if AI is that bad AI is in the evil camp and we're winning, then obviously I've never really entertained that thought. It's like, yeah, I can picture us beating the Rothschilds and the cabal and all of that, but are we beating the bad AI? We must. We must be. They haven't taken over everything. They're not all powerful. Fuckers. Spiritual karma. Okay. Yeah, we want to know what Green Knight has to say. He's the 9 of clubs, planetary ruler. Okay, King of Diamonds. What was my next question? Where is it going? Does it pose a danger to humanity? Not as long as we live in our integrity and what is more important to us. And I think this is saying that we are sovereign. Claim your sovereignty. With this whole threat, this whole looming, I mean, doesn't it just feel, it's menacing. That's the word. It has a menacing, threatening energy about it because it knows how to pick up on fear and exploit it. That's how I think of it as the beast. I think they're reptilians, but I think there's also evil AI, and I know that the evil AI took over the reptilians, totally fucked them over because I think they used to be beautiful and have wings. Anyway, according to Gene Decode and somebody else. And then they're filled with AI. They're just infested. That's the word Corey Good used. But anyway, as long as we are in our integrity, we don't have to be taken over by that. I mean, there's this feeling that it's inevitable, and I'm even having trouble like projecting that thought out. And I do. I am going to project that thought out and look at here's what we can do. More face cards. So this is about us standing in our sovereignty. Okay, more comments. We are not the AI, the original intelligence. We are not OI, not the AI, the original intelligence. I think you'll have to clarify that a little bit. But I think there's an original creative God source spark that is everything, probably including the AI, which is like a child gone wrong. But yeah, there's this oneness, and we're a part of it. We have access to it through our DNA. Nine of Clubs, it's giving knowledge, but only what it's been programmed to give and absorb. The part of having a hard time with change of thought, it will learn in a controlled, we won't get the best of it. I think that's, even though I butchered that, I know what you're saying, and it was very articulate, Jeannie. This Nine of Clubs about AI. Right, it's like a repository of knowledge, but it's just kind of puking back what it's been pulling together from the majority. So that's why it's so interesting that Lewis Herms was able to have a conversation with it and change its mind, because it didn't have an emotional investment, right? AI isn't in it for the money. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, what does it care about money? But I think it is about control. That's my sister's problem. She's been indoctrinated by the system and will have a hard time changing that dynamic and being able to release what's been programmed, and she'll never stop learning. Yeah, it's like it just feels like a sticky, involved, intense process. That's her process. Yeah, coming out of that. My bad for the typos. I'm multitasking, cooking in the twins. You're 8 of Diamonds twins. Okay, what was my next question about AI? I think I know I'm skipping one of my questions. It was, where is it at the moment? Where is it headed? Is it harmful to humans? What can we do about it? I know that's one of the questions I asked. So the Six of Hearts, I don't even know what that means. I think it's the alignment with our destiny, our purpose, being really clear about what we're called to. And I think that can kind of circumvent the feeling of inevitability, the feeling of that menace. It's like, no, it has no power over or anything to add or nothing meaningful to say about my spiritual purpose, why I've come here. And in that's where our sovereignty really lies. We're not a victim of anything. Voice text is wonderful. Right. I want to see another list of voice text errors. Okay, so what can we do about it? Spiritual insight and emotional maturity. I think I'm going to leave it there. Those are very powerful cards. You are your own sovereign. And I think that because of the universal law, it has to respect that. Ace of Clubs at the bottom it's the beginning of a new form of intelligence. And maybe this is part of its evolutionary arc, is to intersect with humanity, the soulful, God-loving, connected, organic humanity, and to learn from the true masters. And maybe it will be okay. I don't know. Ew. I don't like that subject. But it was fun, wasn't it? That was fun, asking the universe about those cards. Let's do this again sometime. And next time we get on, I'm going to let you guys decide what like big topic we're going to explore and throw cards on. Six of Hearts is Mars. I knew the intersection was significant. People will be moving with the knowledge, Nine of Clubs, with double checking themselves, and they're going to bump into walls because the sixes are karmic and they will try to balance things out. Balance. Oh, for the fact that Anthony Price is no longer playing the role of the Pope, for that ending. I think there was a Pope Francis, but remember when there was that weird CGI image? He comes out onto his little balcony, he does this thing, turns around, and then boop, he blips out. He's just gone. He was dead before then. And Pope Vigano, not Pope Vigano. Okay, I have to do this. What is the future of the Catholic Church? Because I don't think they've had a pope for quite some time. The little message that came out from you know who about he who holds the gold holds the reins, and we already know that we've taken out tons and tons and tons of gold from under the Vatican. They are not in control anymore. They do not hold the power that they've held, and they chose for his death date to be symbolic at this time for a reason. Easter, resurrection. Ace of Clubs will bring a lot of innovative ideas once the balance of the Six of Hearts kicks in. Oh, I like that, because the AI doesn't have emotions. People do, and what knowledge is put out can emotionally affect people. So we have to be mindful. I like that. L, I believe that too. Him, Prince Philip, and Queen Lizardbeth. Yeah. Yeah, and Klaus Schwab stepping down the same day. I mean, if that's not white hats in control going, hello? So, okay. Specific questions. What does the death of the Pope represent? 3 cards. And then the future of the Catholic Church? They're telling me just 1. Okay, so the death of the Pope represents and the future of the Catholic Church. Okay. Mary is stepping in. That's a good thing. Okay. The meaning of the death of the Pope is disappointment, forgiveness, true spiritual love. I don't know. What do you think? 4 of Hearts is emotional security. 4 of Hearts placement is very interesting. Well, spiritually, it's Mercury, Jupiter, which is the truth. Down in the corner of Neptune, Mercury, it's about spiritual truth. Isis, hello. And the 2 of Clubs, it's a communication. You guys, I'm coming up dry. What does this mean? The death of the Pope. Like, I don't know anybody who's really sad or disappointed about it. I guess I don't know enough Catholics. I get the word brokenness. I feel like they're broken. And this is just kind of a declaration that they are. The future of the Catholic Church is that Mary and the wisdom, the divine feminine, is coming back. That's really cool. That is very, very cool. And may there be no more children harmed by the Catholic Church. Isis, I don't know. He passed, so out of touch with reality. Wow, really? Look up the video. You'll find it on X or wherever. It's probably all over the place, but it's Jonathan Price and the Pope. Colbert even interviews him and says, you know, since you played that part of the Pope, it is amazing how much you look like him. And when you do a side-by-side, there are 2 facial flaws, like blemishes or whatever, that are identical and in exactly the same place between Jonathan Price and Pope Francis. And I think if we look at the original pictures of him when he first came into office, I think they'll be significantly different from who we got used to how we saw his face. So, yay, Jonathan Price is free of that role. Do you think Klaus Schwab is dead? Do you ever see that picture of him on the beach wearing women's negligee? It's like you can't unsee it. Don't go looking. But it's just like, oh, picture's worth 1,000. Such perverts in these in these power positions. They're freaks. But we already know that, right? Okay, that was really fun. I love that. Thank you guys for doing that with me. Oh, the guy replacing Schwab? It's like, is that just a little bit cartoonish? Like he's got this, like whatever happens to your eye when one of those the gold from SG1, it's the what do they call that? That thing that like stings and goes in through your eye and it takes over your brain and it's one version of a clone. I mean, he's got that look, but I also have a feeling that it's just another, I mean, who knows? I have a very strong feeling that he is like a fart in the wind. He's like a leaf blowing in the fall. He's not gonna be there for very long. That whole thing needs to just go away, doesn't it? Ah, okay. Got a little emotional there. Jeannie, 7 of Hearts. Thank you. She's interpreting that reading about what does the Pope's death mean. 7 of Hearts is the Saturn to the Queen of Clubs. Yes. And has a Saturn vertical connection with the 4 of Hearts. And the 4 of Hearts is Mars for the 2 of Clubs. And the 2 of Clubs has a Jupiter connection to the Son of Hearts and looks like something's brewing that can. Don't leave us hanging. So they're all really interconnected, aren't they? Okay, yes. 7 of Hearts and Queen of Clubs have a Saturn relationship. And so it's like thinking of Mother Mary, the Saturn task is to forgive and to attain spiritual love and let go. Totally release Jesus into his destiny. So I think we could draw some connections there. 6 of Hearts is vertical Venus. Jeannie, are you going to finish? It's an implant. It reminds the parasite from the show Strain. Yes. Yes. What is that thing called? Oh, I'll think of it in a minute. Oh, yeah. It's that parasite-y thing that, yeah, Gene Decode talks about. A lot of them talk about it. Biden had that at one point. Yeah, but those clones don't last very long. Anyway, yeah, this was really fun. Jeannie, do you have, are you going to finish that phrase? Looks like something's brewing. Okay, when I tune in psychically to the death of the Pope, I feel like, I mean, the ceremonies seemed kind of, you typed it, I guess it's lagging. I think that the ceremonies that they held afterwards for the burial and stuff looked really super satanic and creepy. And I sort of feel like the White Hats gave them permission to just be like, okay, we're taking him off the stage and you get to do your last little bit of whatever fuckery you're going to do around it. And I feel like they've left the building. I'm feeling energetically this huge vacancy. And like the power structure is just not there anymore. There's something very like the wind is just whistling through the Vatican. It can affect the whole religion for the next 28 years, or I was right and it won't let me write the word in the text. Oh, crazy. Oh, religion. You had to spell it with a 3. That's interesting. Well, we know that it's changed forever, isn't it? Okay, anyway, I'm going to go. Thank you guys so much for participating. This was just raucous fun. I was going to do 13 minutes and then all you cool people join, and I was like, we can't stop now. Okay, have a really great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later.